Chair of the Select Committee, John Tugendhat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And may I thank again, I'm getting to a bad habit here, may I thank again my right honourable friend, the Foreign Secretary, for an extremely good policy change. This makes the fifth, by my count, that he's backed the Foreign Affairs Committee on, which is the strategic alignment of the departments, BNOs overseas, Magnitsky's protocols generally, and foreign ownership control overseas. Now, this is actually claiming credit slightly for his work, because he was so instrumental in many of these things from his time on the backbenches. But given that his time before even entering here as a human rights lawyer, could I just ask why he hasn't yet made an announcement on the abuse of the Uighur Muslim population in Western China, action that his opposite number in the United States, or rather the US Treasury, has already taken, and which has been campaigned on so forcefully by my honourable friend, the member for Rutland and Melton, and of course my right honourable friend, the member for Chingford and Woodford Green. Could I also ask what his view is of Article 38 and the extraterritoriality of this jurisdiction, of this security law, and the implications for British and Canadian and Australian and New Zealand judges sitting on the Court of Final Appeal, and whether he's discussed that with his opposite numbers, because of course the application of their law, Chinese law, into a common law jurisdiction could make the position of those judges untenable, and it is really for him to advise them on how to act.
Can I thank my honourable friend, the Chairman of the Select Committee, for his fulsome support and his Select Committee's fulsome support for the action the Government has taken. There's plenty of credit to go around, but the reality is we've taken, I think, a proportionate approach, one which recognised the severity of what's happening in Hong Kong, but also, in the way I described, seeks to have a balanced and telegraph a balanced message to the government in Beijing that our relationship is there, with goodwill and with respect for international obligations, to be a positive one. He asked about Xinjiang. We have made very clear our position. Indeed, we led for the first time in the United Nations Human Rights Council a statement on the situation on human rights in both Hong Kong and Xinjiang. 27 countries in total signed that statement. It's the first time it's been done. He asked also in relation to judges on the Supreme Court in Hong Kong. That's something we obviously keep under careful review, given the need and indeed the commitment in the Joint Declaration and the Basic Law for the autonomy of the judiciary, as well as the autonomy of the legislators, to be respected. And so we will discuss that with our international partners. He asked, I think, finally about extraterritoriality. It's not entirely clear, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, quite how that will work in practice, whether it would just apply to Hong Kong residents when they're outside of the country, or whether indeed it is intended to apply to non-Chinese, non-Hong Kong nationals. And that is one of the factors, amongst others, that informed our approach to the